Join us as we dive into some crazy comic book myths that you probably thought were true, and we'll see if we can debunk them all. The last one will really surprise you.
Comic books have been a staple of popular culture for decades, almost a century, actually.
Almost a century.
And with that comes a lot of myths and misconceptions about the characters and storylines. Today, we're going to tackle some of those most common myths that fans often get wrong.
One common misconception is that the Joker's origin story is set in stone. But the truth is, the Joker's past has been rewritten and reinterpreted so many times that it's hard to keep track. Another myth is that Spider-Man's Uncle Ben was the one who convinced him to use his powers for good. Not quite. It was actually Peter Parker's sense of guilt and responsibility that drove him to become a hero. Some fans also believe that Batman's butler, Alfred, is just a minor character, but in reality, he's one of the most important people in Bruce Wayne's life, serving as a confidant and father figure. And let's not forget the myth that Superman's Fortress of Solitude is just a fancy name for a frozen cave. In reality, it's a Kryptonian technology that allows Superman to connect with his heritage.
Speaking of Superman, did you know that his iconic S shield doesn't actually stand for Superman? It's actually the symbol of the Kryptonian House of El, Superman's family crest. And what about the myth that Spider-Man's web shooters are organic? Well, that's from the first movie. Yeah. Nope, he built them himself using his science skills.
If they were organic, they'd come from his butt.
Mm.
But one of the craziest myths I've come across in the origins of Wonder Woman. Many fans believe that Wonder Woman got her powers from the gods, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, she was formed from clay and brought to life by the gods. A subtle but important difference. And what about the myth that Batman is just a ripoff of Zorro? Not quite. While both characters share some similarities, Batman's inspiration comes from a range of sources, including Sherlock Holmes, Doc Savage. Another myth that's often talked about, the Shadow. Another myth is that the Avengers were formed by Iron Man. In reality, the team was brought together by Nick Fury in the movies and a range of heroes in the comic books. So there is a difference between what goes on in the Marvel Universe in the movies and what has happened in the comic books. Stay tuned for a future video where we compare movies to comic books.
Oh.
There you go.
So what's the most surprising myth? In my opinion, it's the true story behind the iconic quote, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Most fans believe it was written by Stan Lee, but in reality, it was written by a composer named Paul Francis Webster. And the most shocking part, it was really meant to be a throwaway jingle for a Spider-Man TV show, but it ended up becoming one of the most recognizable superhero themes of all time. It was even covered by the Ramones.
And by The Simpsons.
Oh, but Spider Pig?
Spider Pig does whatever a Spider Pig could do. As we've seen today, comic book myths and misconceptions can be pretty wild, but by looking beyond the surface and digging into the true stories behind the comics, we can get a new appreciation for the character and world we love.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to let us know in the comments what your favorite comic book myth or misunderstanding is.
Do you have one?
No.
I don't either.
I think the one I think of is, if we're thinking of Superman, the fact that he could always fly.
Right.
Because in the original comics he couldn't.
I think Superman probably has the most myths because he's changed. He's been around so long.
He's changed so much as a character. Yeah.
And if you really look back at Batman actually used guns originally, and he shot and killed criminals.
I'm actually currently reading a Golden Age collection of Batman stories, looking for stuff to do here.
Right.
And the amount of people he kills in the first year of his existence is wild. It's wild. He's like Punisher level killing.
And it's funny because if you look at some things and play one of my favorite Superman commercials right now, where Superman actually kills a guy for smoking.
Well, Superman kills a guy in the comics too when he throws him over the horizon.
But here's a commercial of Superman killing someone, and all the guy's doing is smoking.
Come on, kids. If you want to grow up fast, take one of these. One puff and they'll soon be in my grasp.
Not so fast, nicotine. If you want to go up fast, take one of these. With my X-ray vision, I can see the harm cigarettes do inside people's bodies. That's why I never say yes to a cigarette.
So there you go. Superman actually still, that's from the 1980s. Superman was
Yeah.
killing up into the 1980s, and everyone says how, Superman doesn't kill. But he has killed before, so don't smoke around Superman.
No.
So if you have something really that you think is a myth that needs to be dispelled, that maybe we don't even know, comment, and maybe we'll bring it up in a short coming up or something.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to explore more comic book goodness, be sure to check out our upcoming video on the top 10 most iconic comic book covers of all time as decided by you. So drop your ideas for the 10 most iconic comic book covers ever.
And we will pick
in
them.
the comments, and we will examine them and do them right here on the show.
Yeah. And you help us do the next video.
Absolutely.
Comment your favorite cover. We will look it up. We'll take all of them together, and we'll pick our top 10 based on what you said, and we will actually shout out to you that it was the cover that you picked.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. Love what you collect.
Collect what you love.
We'll see you next time.
Oh, I had a thing. This could be...
Did you forget to do myths about Doom? Doom is the greatest ever. There are many myths about Doom. All are true. Good day.
What's up, guys? I'm Patrick Hickey Jr., voice of Phone Guy in Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, subscribe to Collector. Fuck, do it out.
Collector's Confessions.
What?
Collector's Confessions.
Subscribe to Collector's Confessions today.
Ooh, yeah! Can you dig it?